The 2023 season has reached its halfway point, and some teams find themselves on the right track, while others are on the wrong foot. So today, we'll go over a couple drivers from each division that has recently been on a good streak, and a couple drivers who have not gotten the results they've been looking for heading into the season's second half. It's who's hot and who's not, and we start with the SK Modifieds and Kyle Rickey.
Bonssa, the SK Modifieds have again been the most competitive division here at Stafford, with 7 different winners in the first 9 races. After a rough start to the season, Keith Rocco and his Horsepower Hill Farm number 22 team have gotten hot in recent weeks, winning on Friday, July 7th, and again on Thursday, July 13th, and have climbed to 6th in the standings. And Mikey Flynn, while in search of his first SK Modified win still, has also found some heat, scoring top 5 finishes in 4 of the last 5 races, including a career-best second on July 13th. And on the other side of the thermometer, we find Jonathan Pulio, who after a rash of early season issues is still in search of his first top 5 finish of the year. A disappointing start to the season that saw 2022 end with such promise after capturing his first win last September. And SK Modified rookie Steven Chapman has struggled to find success. Incidents on track or mechanical issues have relegated Chapman to 20th in the standings with just 1 top 10 finish. And then there is that driver that's not too hot or cold. And in the SK Modifieds, that driver for the most part has been Todd Owen over the last 3 seasons. While he hasn't scored that first win of the season, Owen has been among the top 10 at the end of each race, while he has been on the podium 3 times and is the current championship points leader. Now here's Bonssa with a look at the late models.
The late model division this season has proven to be tough with a very tight field of cars. When it comes to who's hot, I give it to point leader Kevin Gambacorta and Daryl Keene. Gambacorta's case is pretty simple. He's the only driver to finish top 10 in every race, and the 23 team figured something out recently, because Gambacorta has finished first, and second in the last 3 races, the last 2 coming from starting spots of 13th and 14th. Daryl Keene may come as a surprise, but hear me out. Gambacorta has the most top 10s with 8, right? While Keene has the second most with 7. In fact, the last 4 races see Keene with an average finish of 4.5. That's the second best in the division in that span to Gambacorta. Consistency is key. It was this time last year where Keene went on a tear that eventually led to a victory. So that's who's hot. Now who's not? I'd give it to Michael Ray and Alex Fern, a different reason for each driver. First, luck has not been favoring Ray lately after getting caught up in an accident in the last 2 features, resulting in finishes of 17th and 16th. It's a blow for the team that had found speed before the stretch of bad luck. Eventually, though, that luck may turn around. Late model rookie Alex Fern and the 12 team have been struggling with a car that is new to them. Mechanical gremlins and difficulty finding the setup has seen Fern score a best finish of 10th over the last 4 events, along with a 13th, 15th, and 12th. There's still several weeks to go as the team looks to rekindle their second place run back in June. And an honorable mention, if that's what you want to call it, goes to Bobby Sturck III. After a 6-win season in the street stocks last year, the 9 team have struggled to get their late model going, with finishes of 11th or worse in 6 of the last 7. Now let's move to the SK Light Modifieds.
In the SK Light Modifieds, Brian Sullivan started hot and has never really cooled off. Sullivan won 3 of the first 4 races of the season and has finished in the top 5 in 6 of 8 point-paying races, while his worst finish is a 9th. That consistency has given Sullivan a 40-point cushion atop the standings heading into the second half of the season. Tyler Chapman has found some heat in recent weeks, winning 3 of the last 5 races, including last week's Monaco Ford 30-lap non-point event. Chapman is currently 5th in the championship standings. The driver known as the Shark is looking for warmer waters as 2023 has not been kind to the SK Light veteran Bob Charland thus far. While Charland does have a podium finish, the driver of the number 1 has struggled to find the top 10 in recent weeks, sitting just 12th in the standings after finishing 5th in points a season ago. 17-time SK Light winner Joey Farino is looking for a turn of luck as well after several on-track incidents have kept the 87 car from finishing in the top 10. And you could call Nick Anglaise lukewarm at this stage of the season. Currently second in points, Anglaise has back-to-back top 5 finishes, including a runner-up during the last points-paying event on July 7th. Anglaise finished 13th in the 2 prior races, cooling him off just a bit heading into the month of July. With a look at our limited late models, here's Bonssa.
The limited late models have seen yet another year of growth, with a few names adding themselves to the field. So who's hot amongst the drivers? My 2 picks go to point leader Jeremy Lavoie and Devin Jensick. When it comes to Lavoie, he's the point leader for a reason. Not only is he the only driver to finish top 10 in every race, he's the only driver to finish top 5 in every race. Oh, and he's our most recent winner too, which helps. The Windsor Locks native has been doing what he does best, staying clean and staying up front. Devin Jensick may be an interesting pick, but after starting off the year lacking speed, Jensick was having the best run yet in the Riley Generators 30, leading almost every lap before winding up in a big wreck. After mechanical issues sidelined him the next week, Jensick has managed an average finish of just above 3 over the last 3 events, and that includes a win 2 races ago. The only other driver with a better average over the last 3 features is Lavoie. Quick honorable mention goes to Damian Polardi as well. Polardi along with Lavoie are the only 2 drivers to get podium finishes in each of the last 2 races. The 87 team's average finish over the last 3 features, a solid 4. Now we go the other way. Who's not doing so hot lately? Defending champion Rich Hammond and Gary Patnode are my picks. And it may be weird to say the driver 4th in points is not hot, but at this point last year, Hammond won 4 times. Yet he hasn't been a consistent winning car this season. Hammond has mustered finishes of 5th, 5th, and 6th in the last 3 races, and hasn't scored a podium since mid-May. There's still time, and the Hammond team is looking for ways to improve the setup on car 28. Gary Patnode came off a 22 season that had ups and downs. This year has had little ups though. Patnode's only top 5 this season came in race 1. He has since endured multiple weeks of mechanical issues and accidents. His average over the last 3 races is over 8. But there's a whole second half of the season to go, and several more Fridays to try and put some results together. We will now round out who's hot and who's not with the street stocks.
Street stock points leader Ryan Waterman has been hot since the drop of the first green flag, winning 4 of the first 5 races of the season, while finishing among the top 4 in all but 1 race. That 1 race, though, was a big dent in his championship points lead after a first lap incident on May 26th. Defending champion Travis Haidar had positive momentum coming into the year, and that continued into this season, winning twice while finishing a season-high 2nd 4 times, including in the 2 most recent races. He sits 2nd in the standings, 12 points behind Waterman. On the flip side is Marvin Minkler, who had optimism coming into the new year with a new race car. The 3rd-year driver had hoped that the new piece would make for better results, but issues with the car have kept him from the top 10 in all but 1 race and 13th in the championship standings. Burt Willett has cooled off in recent weeks after back-to-back 3rd-place finishes to open up 2023. Willett has had 2 finishes outside of the top 15 in the last 4 races, a month that was complicated by a team change. And another change is on the way, as Willett will begin the second half of the year driving for Randy Higginson. And Travis Downey is trending warmer after an ice-cold start to the year following a lap 1 crash in the season's first feature event. Downey has finished in the top 4 in 4 of the last 5 races, including a win on July 7th. And that's who's hot and who's not as we begin the second half of the year this Friday, July 28th, with Dunleavy's Modifieds Night.